Hey there YouTube, Heir of Carthage here. Let me go ahead and say this is the first episode in my Tokugawa, well, it's not the first episode. It's the first episode that I've recorded today for my Tokugawa marathon. I think episode 19 and 20 I had recorded previously, and I actually have recorded the entire campaign at this point, but I managed to leave my microphone off in a typical Heir type move. So now, for the rest of the campaign, you're going to have to get my afterwards commentary, which is really annoying, because afterwards commentary, to me, isn't really my favorite thing to do when it comes to the campaign. But in any case, you see I was just defending Musashi there. The Ughhh have a big army that's heading down towards my vassals. And that could very well get ugly, and probably will. But hey, I guess I know the answer to that, and you don't. So right here I'm thinking about whether or not I should move my army from Mikawa up to Owari. Pretty much I was thinking that Mikawa was going to be plenty safe since, you know, it's all it's all locked in back there and I have my navy to protect it. So that was my thinking for moving my army out of there. Plus it gets Tokugawa Ieyasu closer to the fight. And I definitely want him for whenever I take when I take Kyoto. And this enemy army there, not really sure exactly what it's going to do, but I'm guessing it's going to try and march back for that province. I don't know, this is why I hate doing the afterwards commentary, because I don't really remember exactly everything that's going on. So I'll just give you the best commentary I can. You can pretty much see what I'm doing. I don't think I really need to describe every action that I'm taking. I just know that this campaign, well, it was annoying. So, pretty much from start to finish, it seemed like, well, in the start, actually, it was going pretty well. But ever since the stupid Iko-Iki threw me into Realm Divide early, it really messed things up. Just kind of made me unprepared, so I've got bad income and bad preparation, poor defenses, very little research, like pretty much all the things that I don't want. That's what's going on right now. So, pretty much sucks. But, oh well, just going to have to deal with it at this point. Oh, I wish that I could, I don't know, people keep talking to me about what Metsukes and how they help the province get more money, but I haven't really seen that, so I'm not really sure what you're talking about. So if you think that, maybe you should put some more explanation behind it, because every time I put a Metsuke into a province, I don't notice any increase in my income, since a lot of people say that it increases their tax income or something. Yeah, again, I'm not really sure what the point of that is. Or, I don't know, maybe I'll try and read into it and see if I can figure out why Metsukes, or what they do when they oversee the settlements. I just haven't messed with it very much. That big army there is actually Ughhh Kenshin. They have their daimyo there, so definitely going to need to get him away from my provinces, as he was definitely one of the, well, I say, you know, not too long ago I did a commentary where I said that that Oda Nobunaga was probably a better general, and after doing some further reading and everything, I actually tend to think not, because Oda Nobunaga actually met with Kenshin in battle and was defeated decisively, and it was when Kenshin died that Oda Nobunaga proclaimed, now basically the kingdom is mine, or the empire is mine. So he knew that that Kenshin was the only person who could really keep him from obtaining power, and Kenshin died, I think, they think it was due to a brain hemorrhage. He did a lot of drinking and other things. Anyway, that's hopefully a little bit of interesting information behind Kenshin. So here, a lot of you are always asking me the questions that I push whenever I'm using these buttons. If you hold Control and then double right click, it will select all of a unit type. So you'll see me do that sometimes when we're in here. And right now I'm trying to deploy the defenses, but for some reason it's not working real well. It shouldn't end up being that big of a deal, though. Yeah, that's just me trying to figure out how to deploy the defenses. Anyway, when you can put out these deployable covers, then my matchlock unit, of course, puts up like the little bamboo thing. Yeah, I'm just repositioning my matchlock unit now so that I can deploy the little bamboo thing in front of them. It ends up not being very large, but whatever. It'll serve the purpose of slowing down any incoming enemy attack. And then now I'm going to spread them out into 3 ranks thick. That way they can use their fire by rank function. And then basically I usually end up, let's see. Yeah, I'm putting my spears right behind them, because that way if the enemy does make it through my deployable defenses, then they'll get mashed down right on all my spears. And then of course I'm going to put my good infantry in the back, just as a reserve. And I think I actually have reinforcements in this battle. And I hid my cavalry out in the woods. They're kind of beat up, and I don't want to just charge them out into an open fight. Light cavalry is pretty weak. And again, had I had time to prepare properly for the Realm Divide, I would have been using Yari Cav and Katana Cav, as they're both much better. And I haven't really gotten to use them in campaign like I'd like to. They're just as useful in campaign as they are in multiplayer. So I got these reinforcements from the castle town that's nearby. I'll just pull them up right behind mine to create another reserve line, so that my enemy will pretty much have no chance of getting to me at this point. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it in fast forward here in a moment. Or it's already in fast forward, my bad. Yeah, I'm yawning because I'm kind of tired. It's nighttime, and I'm so frustrated at this campaign. Yeah, it was a big pain to film, and you'll see why. And you know, I won't tell you the ending either, but I have finished the campaign, for whatever that means, whether I won or lost. But it was a big nuisance, the campaign was. And I hope you enjoy it, though. I enjoyed the campaign, but towards the end of any campaign, I start to get really frustrated, just because the diplomacy and everything else, I think, needs just a bit of tweaking. It's pretty good the way it is, but you know, some of it just doesn't make sense to me. There could be things that I don't understand. I don't really know. But there you're going to see my matchlock units open fire. Start to drop some of these enemy units here. See them peppering. They actually don't get very good shots in on this. They do better in other battles, but the fire by rank is pretty handy with the Matchlock Ashigaru. It still takes forever for Matchlock Ashigaru to reload, though. Now there you saw me click all my missile units into all my units into defense. That pretty much just means that they won't stay in, like if you're running away, they won't stay to engage, but also it means that they won't follow a unit after it's routed and try and chase it down. So yeah, that's kind of helpful in these battles if you don't want your army running all over the place. Now I did rally my troops there, and I inspired one of my Ashigaru units. You can see the one with the two little things next to its flag has been inspired, and it's going to be fighting very boldly. And right here you can see I'm clicking an attack order with my Matchlock Ashigaru onto that general, hoping to get some shots on it. I don't really have the best angle, but I'll try and shoot some of them down. But on this game, the friendly fire has been taken down a little bit, which is handy in some cases, but also makes your men a little more reluctant to fire into their own men. Which is probably true. They probably wouldn't just fire into their own men in real life. But you can see the enemy army here is like all torn up at this point. There's the enemy general getting cut down by my arrows. I haven't told my arrows to attack the general. It just looks like they're doing it. See my matchlock open fire on them again, so there's probably not anything left of that general unit. All the infantry of the enemy is routing. The defensive battles on campaign are pretty easy to defend against the computer, which is, you know, pretty handy. It makes it to where you can win a fight without taking massive casualties, and you can pretty much get the computer to march right into what you want, especially if you plan it the right way. So it's always handy. I'm just pushing my missile units back forward here so I can take out these enemy bow units that are remaining. They are all shooting at my infantry. I'm going to end up running my general and my infantry back because the enemy bows are trying to shoot my general right at the moment. It's kind of irritating. They'll just bypass all your bows and just trying to damage your army. But oh well. I was waiting to try and see if my matchlock units had opened fire. Sometimes when you have them in fire by rank, though, they'll have to like all reload and all get in the right position before they'll fire. So that's kind of annoying, but you can see that part of the unit there was ready to fire. They fired, but now like they have to finish reloading before any of the others will fire. So you just need to be aware of things like that when you're using fire by rank. That's why I prefer Matchlock Samurai with rapid volley, but I don't have access to the Matchlock Samurai. And in campaign, the only way you can make Matchlock Samurai is if you have a powder market, and it's not easy to build one of those in just every old place. But once you finish researching gunpowder, you can actually recruit Matchlock Samurai at any fort. So that's actually kind of, or Matchlock Ashigaru, sorry. But the Matchlock Samurai are really the dangerous ones in my opinion. And then of course in multiplayer, I'm not sure if they're in the campaign, but the Matchlock Warrior Monks are pretty effective too. Alright, so we're going to get back to the campaign map here. You can see that they're now just a rotting corpse. My general has leveled up. Oh, that general. There's an interesting story behind that general, so keep an eye on him. I'm probably going to end up, never mind. Yeah, never mind. So anyway, I'm upgrading my general here. You all ought to be proud that I noticed it right away instead of letting him sit around for turns on end. And I also realized I can give him stand and fight here, which is good. Having stand and fight is always a handy characteristic in Shogun 2, I think. We're going to go try and attack these guys and get them out of my lands. And of course, the little babies ran away so that they could finish soiling their diapers up there in the woods, because they don't want to stand and fight. I'm just looking at the rest of my provinces here and making sure that, you know, they're in order and taking care of whatever we need to here. Some of these provinces, for some reason that I don't understand at this point, which the reason is my daimyo's honor isn't very high, and I didn't know that, so apparently I haven't been using my daimyo for many battles, and so that means my generals are going to be less loyal, and it also means that my towns are going to be, they're a little less happy overall. So the higher your general, or your daimyo's honor is, the better. So those bedwetting pansies there ran off also rather than fight. It's funny how they're always attacking me, and no matter how much I try and run away, I never can run away, but whenever they run away, it works. Yeah, whatever. So here I was looking at the town there with the gold mine and the Metsuke, and I just don't see the difference that it's making, but that's probably because I haven't really read up on what the Metsukes do when overseeing a town, so I'll do that sometime soon. I've got like a strategy guide for Shogun 2 that I really haven't looked at yet, that I should probably go ahead and take a look at. Yeah, I need to finish recruiting some mangonels, and right here I'm just trying to look to see what kind of forces I have around. I'm probably just going to use the archers from Owari, and from that force that's moving to Owari, to be the archers for this army of katana samurai that I've trained, and then I'll use that army to help take down the Shogun whenever the time comes. But like I said, I've got to finish recruiting the mangonels, which I can't recruit them for at least another turn, but they're kind of expensive too. So I'm going to have the money to be able to train them, and plus they have pretty high upkeep cost. That's another reason why you don't see me keeping a lot of siege units around, because they do have high upkeep cost. And that's one of the challenges in every campaign that you face, is you're going to have tons of provinces, and even though the computer can have massive armies with no provinces, you can't. And so you've got to make sure to try and defend things as best you can, but you can't leave, like some people get mad at me, like, you don't leave big enough armies in your town. I can't leave any bigger armies in the town, or else I won't have any money. So, you know, it's one of those things where it costs upkeep, you know, to have the troops there. And so I'm pretty much doing the best I can on that. There is some research, though, that I didn't get a chance to do in this campaign because I was just going straight for gunpowder. But you can do some research that lowers the unit upkeep cost and also increases some of your provincial wealth and stuff. And if you do that, it really kind of helps make it to where you can field a few more troops than if you hadn't researched it. Now here's an annoying eco army marching down towards this town like they're going to take it. The computer will start to do that to you a lot in Realm Divide, and that's really, really irritating. You make all these strongholds like I did to protect your borders, well, the computer will just march right past it. But then if you leave your stronghold, they'll have another army right behind it, because you got to remember it's like 50 clans versus me right now. And so that's one of the irritants that they've set up here that makes it difficult. And again, the Eco have like 2 provinces, and they have that ginormous army there. And of course they're not going bankrupt. But, you know, I have like 10 or 12 provinces. And even though I have 10 or 12 provinces, I can barely support 2 armies.